Y'all already know what time it is. Woo! Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Give me some fives in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. Sorry, everybody behind. I had to reboot the whole system. It's crazy, man. We got so much fire going on in the name of Yahuwah. Man. Y'all put some fives in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. If you can hear me okay. I'm going to go in, and I promise you, this is going to blaze. What book we in over here? What are we going? How are we going to hit him? Which way should we hit him? Bam, bam, bam. Hey, that first session. What was we doing, y'all? That first session. How was we hitting him? Bam, bam. We were just hitting him from so many angles. How in the world is Jesus, God, Lord, and all them going to stand up to Yahuwah It's impossible. How's a lie going to end up beating the truth when it's all said and done? Like if you control the whole thing, but you allow things to happen. Who's all here? We got a bunch of folks already jumped in here. We're already getting off the charts and the numbers. Everybody hit the like button, by the way. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Now, if you are a witness for Yahuwah, then you're going to hit the share button, and you'll share this out on your social media channels, and you're going to get people to finally get the truth. Man, you see how it's been like running from people for so many years. The truth has been hiding. They buried the truth. Shout out to Brother Robert for that super. We're going in, fam. And we're doing kingdom business. We're doing kingdom business over at tsinfo.org. So what we're asking is everybody do something to contribute today financially. Because what we do is we work kingdom business like you would not believe. We go at it hard, core. If you look at it, when we started the campaign, we told everybody what we were doing. We said we're going to strategically market in all the most incredible places. Shout out to Irene. She says, I'm new here, but ever so grateful. I'm so excited with anticipation. Look. Everybody give Sister Irene a shout out. She goes, I'm new here, but so ever grateful. I'm so excited with anticipation, waiting for my true scriptures to arrive. The more I hear, the more I want. Yahuwah, I tell you, you own. You done finally found what you was born to find. Baruch or you, that sign name blessed. Baruch means blessed. Blessed or blessed. Because you found it. And I know what it feels like. Going back all those years. Y'all heard me tell the story before. I found Yahuwah back in May of 2007. This is crazy. Roseanne said Disney bought the rights to King James. They can have it. Disney can have it. That bucket all they did was bought a bucket of trash. Hey, we know Disney got plenty of money. They got all kind of money. So let's tell Disney, put some money up. Put some money up. Tell Disney, put some money up. Disney, all that money Disney got, I'm going to promise you something. They're not going to put no money up against the Truth Scriptures. They're not going to touch it. They're not going to touch it with a 1,000-foot pole. And they can afford 1,000 poles or more to try to touch it. But they're going to be like, man, we got to get out of there. We got to keep the deception going. It's all about the deception. Now, when we start this campaign on November the 9th, 2023, let's do some math. All right, let's give it November a month. That's 3 weeks. We're going to back it out. So November, December. Now let's give 12 months, all right, for 2024. That's 14 months. And now we're at month 9, right? So 14, 9. Well, we're at 23. All right. So you're talking about less than 2 years, right? Around 22 months. We've been doing the campaign. Now, when we started the campaign, we had on our YouTube channel 13,000 subscribers, approximately. Around 13,000 subscribers. Right now, in less than 2 years, it's at 438,000 subscribers, 993. Now, we had started the YouTube channel November 2020. We didn't do any hardcore video marketing for how many years is that? 13 years, something like that. We put the website out August 2007 promoting the name of Yahuwah. We're one of the first people in the world that we know to do it. So we put it out there. Then we started doing search engine optimization. Now, we got them receipts because can't nobody tell us what we got. We got it. And we had a page, the TrueSalvation.net page, we've had for years, but we had it sitting over on the Promote the True site. We bought the domain to point to True Salvation. when people go through the true salvation message, at the end of it, we would ask. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew the staff. I wrote the whole page personally, by the way, right? I wrote the whole page. Now, watch this. At the end of it, we say, if you decided to call on the name of Yahuwah, to repent and call on the name of Yahuwah, then send an email to info@promotethetruth.com. info@promotethetruth.com. Now, y'all know that Yahuwah is the narrow path. You know it. It's the narrow path. And you talk about niche, because the truth is a very niche thing. Not many people are, but if you type Yahuwah's name in Google in 2007, May 2007, when I found his name, 0 results. If you typed it in YouTube, no videos. So imagine if you see what I've seen. Now we start doing search engine optimization, teaching people, and then saying, if you have repented, called on Yahuwah, send an email. Now we got all them emails. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think from May 2007 up until November 2023, I think we had over 800 people. Lena's got them somewhere. We saved all these emails. I think we had over 800 people say that they repented and gave their name to Yahuwah. Have I ever told y'all that? I don't think I've ever told y'all that. I don't think I've ever told you that. Y'all let me know in the chat. I don't think I've ever told y'all. Again, I'm estimating, but I'm pretty sure it's over 800 different people. So May 2007, so call it a 13-year period, over 800 people. Now, I know out of them 800 and some people, I start seeing websites, videos popping up all over the place as the years went by. And people, I'm watching the language they use. They're using the language that we're teaching off of our website. And I have one video on that website. I have one video that I did early as a baby in Yahuwah. Think about it. So most of y'all say, y'all don't think. All right, so Overseer Larry, Sister Ashley, y'all don't think y'all heard me say that, Brother Overseer Daniel, right? But y'all think about that. Right? That ain't like a ton, but that's a lot. But we got Brother Norman, we got them receipts. So we start watching people, Sister Emily, we start watching people come out with videos and they're teaching about Yahuwah. So we're very confident that we were at least a core spark of the restoration of the name of Yahuwah. We're very confident in it. We got them receipts. Because people sending emails in. I've given my life to Yahuwah. I've repented, given my life to Yahuwah. And then here's what they would do. They say, now what? Hey, my mommy's in the building. My mother-in-law's on here. Te quiero mucho, mami. Te quiero mucho, mami. Hey, people were like, what can we do? Can we join? Can we be members? Can we buy swag? Can we contribute? Can we donate? We didn't say nothing. I think we had a basic response. Here's how to follow Yahuwah. This is the basics. And we pushed it back on him. Yahuwah is simple. He's not complicated. Oh, I told Lena I was going to talk about that today. Yahuwah is simple. He's not complicated. If you try to complicate Yahuwah, all you're going to do is frustrate yourself. What's Brother Larry saying? Overseer Larry saying, if they rejoice in having over one, how much more they rejoice over 800? Yes. Think about that. So would y'all agree that had to, if there's 800 and some people, if nobody is talking hardly at all that we know of and you know of on earth over the past several centuries, Hundreds and hundreds of years. Shout out to Sister Stacy over there in Northern Ireland coming in. If nobody's talking about it, you can't find it in the biggest search engine in the world. You can't find it on the #1 video platform in the world. You don't hear nothing about the name Yahuwah. This right here. Nothing. And all of a sudden, these little whippersnappers, this old country boy from Kentucky, all of a sudden, I call on the name of Yahuwah. I start sharing it with those close around me. Some of them called, most of them didn't. See, I don't care about who don't. That's a big deal when it comes down to Yahuwah versus God, Lord, and Jesus. See, if you see that versus, you think that's competition. Yahuwah is not an allure of competition. He is an allure of creativity and advancement and expansion. He don't have to compete. He owns everything. So we got to take that on. But Sister Anna going, I don't recall. That's got to stick with y'all because we got them receipts. Maybe it's a cool, Lena, we can pull those emails out. Because Lena started reading, she started crying. So I found Yahuwah in May 2007. Me and Lena meet February 2012. We get married November 2012. Roseanne said, how'd you come to know Yahuwah? I'm telling you, I screamed out. You got to go back and watch the first session because I'll give the story of back how I came out of professional sports. Oh, I got a bunch of articles, by the way, bunch. My dad had put together a big scrapbook, and my ex, y'all got them exes? My ex left it in some storage that she was responsible for and didn't pay the bill, and all of my big memorabilia in my scrap went gone. So thank goodness for technology, we were able to go grab a bunch of articles and put stuff back together. So we got a bunch of articles because I was in the newspaper almost every day in my hometowns for years. Sister Queen said, everybody getting their information to promote the truth. People trying to be slick, though, this Sister Queen. They be slick. They be slick. Come on, Ethan. Hey, y'all got to think about what I've seen. You go all the way back. I'm digging. I scream out. I call on the name of Yahuwah. There ain't no, that's right, ain't no competition in Yahuwah. We don't compete. We create. Nobody can get what's yours once you claim it. Nobody. You don't got to compete. If you compete, you're now operating on a satanic, demonic plane. You don't do that in the kingdom. You create. Because Yahuwah is unlimited. Whatever's not there can be created to be more. Sister Anna, this is a trick. Hold on, let me see if I can get this, y'all. Because I tell a story, and people, they think I'm playing. I'm not playing. I am not playing with this, y'all. This is a trip. I don't know why this thing is acting weird. Hold on a second. Let me get this straight. Y'all bear with me one second. Because I found something cool. Because Overseer Bill sent me a message, a reminder. Shout out to Overseer Bill. He sent me a reminder. He said, hey, you remember you're going to show that? So I told y'all that I just had won. I don't know if I told you this part, but to get to the major leagues in baseball, it's a gauntlet drill. It is so it's hard. You talking about competition? That's competition. It's hard to get there. You got to be off the charts on another level to get through that gauntlet. Anybody you see on TV, almost every one of them had to spend at least 2 years in the minor league system to get to that TV. Most of them 4 to 8 years to get on that TV. It's that thick a competition. It's that the error of margin is so thin. You got to be off the hook. So And one of the most difficult things to do is stealing bases. Because a pitcher, and I'm going to get into this lesson, y'all get ready, but I'm setting this up. A pitcher, from the first time he makes any movement at all, that ball is in that catcher's mitt on average at about 1.3 to 1.4 seconds. That's fast. Just from when you move, it's there. So most of the time is spent in him getting himself to launch, but once it launches, it's in the mitt like that. A catcher that catches it can throw it from the catcher's plate. So on average, they're going to get it there in around 2 seconds to the second base. It's going to hit the mitt, they're going to throw it, and in 2 seconds, it's going to be at second base. So that's about 3.3, 3.4 seconds you're dealing with. So if you're standing on first base and you got to get to second base 90 feet, you got to beat it in around 3.3 to 3.4 seconds. So I time myself and I work my skills and my technique with my hips and my feet alignment to where I can get there. If I did everything just right, I can get there in 3.1 seconds. It's fast. So it was going to be it's hard to throw me out if I did my stuff. So it really came down to me. Or if that pitcher would slide step, they would get down to 1.1 seconds where they wouldn't do a lot of motion. But that was an advantage for our hitters because they're not going to get as much power on it, not enough movement because they're worried about me so much. So I was back-to-back minor league stolen base championship, 1991, 1992. I was back-to-back. In my respective leagues, I was back-to-back. So more than likely, I'm going to the major leagues in 1993. So 1991, 1992. And we won back-to-back minor league championships. So the team and the manager, I'm telling you, go look at the Texas Rangers head coach, head manager now. His name is Bruce Bochy. He was my manager, 1991, 1992. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's won 4 World Series, right? He's going to be in the Hall of Fame as a manager. Now, I'm going to try to get him on here sometime because he will tell you I had a lot to do with him getting to the major leagues because I was his leadoff hitter and I set the tempo and I could dominate a game. I could disrupt the whole game just from stealing bases and plus defense and everything else and hitting for average and hitting for power, all that stuff. So after that season of 1992, I was so into, because during that 1992 year, I got real spiritual. They were having Bible studies. I was hanging out. There was a few fellas in there, most people partying. I didn't party much in 1992. I was really starting to wonder why I'm here. Got all this fanfare. I'm in magazines. I'm on posters. I've got my own contracts with different sportswear. I got my agent that's sending me everything. Everything I want is happening. And then after the 1992 season, I tell my granddad, I quit. I'm going to go preach. And I became an ordained Baptist minister. And it freaked everybody out. Everybody in my family. Can you imagine? My 2 hometowns, because I grew up in Kentucky, but I moved to Florida. So both these hometowns, they never had a professional athlete. Winchester, Kentucky, Spring Hill, Florida. Neither one of them had ever had a professional athlete. I was the first coming out of that town. So I was in the newspapers a lot. And it expanded out. So Spring Hill's like 35 miles north of Tampa. So I was a lot in the Tampa and the St. Petersburg newspapers. So when I quit, freaked everybody out. So I decided to come back after I knew organized religion was trash. So that's what I'm saying. Yahuwah versus God, Lord Jesus. Why do y'all hold on to something? And that's why I was asking myself, why am I holding on to something that ain't got no power? Y'all, if we just be honest, like let's just be real. You go and you pray. You get hyped up by mama, daddy, grandparents, relatives, aunts, uncles, friends, and then you go through the routine. You start going to church. You start calling yourself a Christian or a Muslim or whatever. And then you pray. And then hardly nothing happened that you're praying for. But you kind of psych yourself up as if something's happening. But you spend most of your time going, I'm just on the side of this struggle until I get to heaven. Tell the truth. I'm just waiting on the heaven. It won't be this hard. And all them songs, I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, down in the valley. One day the struggle will be over. None of this is scriptural. None of it. He said you'll have persecutions. Yahushua, who is Yahuwah, says that they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. But he says, I came to give life and give it more abundantly. So what he's saying is, the way I had to go through it, more than likely you ain't got to go through it like that. More than likely they're not going to rip you into shreds. Some of you are going to get ripped into shreds, but most of you, here's how you do it. You don't do the woe is me and I'm so down and all that stuff. You don't do that. He said, through YAHUAH, sign named James, the book of James, he said, consider it pure joy when you face trials of all kinds. So we're supposed to celebrate, consider pure joy, because Yahushua, who is Yahuwah, when he was here said, anybody that comes after me, that gives up homes, right? That gives up relatives, that gives up lands for my sake, will not receive all of that back at 100-fold in this life, as well as the life to come. So what's the difference between Yahuwah versus God, Lord, and Jesus? God, Lord, and Jesus tell you to suffer, be impoverished, and wait until you get to the other side. And then when you get to the other side, because you didn't have the truth, you would have been better off partying, having a great time in this life, rather than to follow a lie. The word God is pagan. Lord is pagan. Jesus is pagan. You would have been way better off. Why would you keep lying to yourself when you know, I love, sisters put in here, you know it didn't work. You know praying to Jesus, Lord, and God don't work. You know it. Judah said, look what Judah said. See, this has been a real answer. JC, Jesus Christ never answered me, but Yahuwah has. That's a fact that's going to happen. Some of you going through stuff right now and you're struggling unnecessarily. You need solutions. You need breakthroughs. You need answers. You need peace inside. It's only going to happen through this name. I'm telling you. You can't hardly find nobody to sacrifice what I sacrifice to figure out what I'm saying to you. You remember? I told y'all. And then I said, this is all trash. So I found an article that this is receipts. It documents. Watch this. I'm going to put it on the screen. This was in the Tampa Tribune in 1994. I don't know how good it's going to show up on the screen, but check it out. Watch this. This is 1994 in the Tampa Tribune. All right. Let me see. It's coming up small, but let me see if I can see it. I want to maximize the size. Yes, I can't. I don't know how good you're going to see it. All right, let me pull it up on my computer. I'll tell you what it says. This is the Tampa Tribune. All right, that's the newspaper article in the Tampa Tribune. Let me see if I blow it up on my other computer. It's hard to see. All right, I'm going to get it to where I get it blown up, and I'm going to put it out. Sister Anderson, truth being spoken again. Now watch this. I'm going to read. It's on the screen, but I'm going to read to you just some of the captions, what it says. Hold on. Oh, that's the big old article. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you this other one. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you this other one. It should come in a little better. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me try this one. Hold on. Let me try another one. I'm gonna take that one down. It's all kind of articles, man. Newspaper was calling my house almost every day for months because they just couldn't believe what I did. Watch this, Michaela. Hold on. They couldn't believe it. They go, who's going to do that? My mama would cry. You're not a carpet cleaner. You're a professional baseball player. What are you doing with your life? My mom will tell you right now today. She go, that boy is an extremist. What she'll tell you? My mama will tell you today. Look at Luya. You see it? Nolan set to give pro game another go. See? Pauline, see it? See, y'all ain't seen this stuff. I'm bringing them receipts. This is a trip. Hold on, I'm going to pull up another one. You should be able to see this one better because I just kind of cropped this other one out. There's I don't know how many of them. I think there's hundreds of articles. Miriam said it. Praying in those pagan names did not work for me. But my prayers in Yahuwah, wow. All right, here you go. Watch this. You should see this better. Now look. You see that? All right, now watch. Nolan Hope in Kern Road makes final stop in Seattle. Former Springstead outfielder J.D. Nolan is one step away from the major league despite, now look what it says there in the caption next to the picture. That's me in the picture. All right? Despite walking away from baseball in 1993 to consider joining the ministry. Look, double hit it. Exactly why I walked away. I went to go preach. Told you. In the newspaper, they're tripping. What y'all, I'm telling you, I got the receipts for ages. So the stuff that I paid, the prices that I paid are just stupendous. I'm staring at multi-millions of dollars. But I just wasn't happy with this world. I knew something wasn't right. Look, Michaela, look at that. That's a lot. I bat left, threw right. I can switch it, but my dad made me stay predominantly batting left. Quicker to get to first base. My game is really based around speed. See? They was all asking me, why did you? And then if you read these articles, they're going, hopefully, when I signed with the Rockies, they were like, hopefully he's still taking a year off of baseball. They're tripping. We don't know if he still got it. Y'all come in here, because I'm going to really teach you something. Come on in here. Let me tell you the hookup that Satan will give you. I promise you. I done seen it firsthand. That was after I quit in 1992 and took the whole 1993 season off. I didn't go back. I could have went back later on in the year in 1993 once I knew for a fact organized religion was a sham. It was a scam. I knew it was. My wife is back home. What's up, baby? You got my stuff? That's the stuff.
So, one of each.
Oh.
And two.
All right. My baby's back at the crib.
Maybe.
Where you going?
Kai's appointment and
Oh, okay. Love you.
Are you ready?
My wife goes, love you. You're the best. Guy got to go to his a dentist appointment, then to the academy. Yeah, I got to use it. I got to get that. Unless you want to put it over on my other computer. If you want to send it to me, I work from up there. You can take it. It's up to you. If you send it right there right now, you can take it. Otherwise, you got to leave it here. You want to take it?
I do everything tonight.
All right, cool.
Then we forget what we have to do.
All right, y'all just bear with. I'm sorry about that. We got to make sure we got kingdom business going on right there. So think about. I knew it was a scam. I'm out. I'm out. I'm deuces. See you. I'm out of here. So I'm sitting there. I go through the whole year. I ain't going back. And then let me tell y'all that are all of y'all that are lukewarm, man, you are unnecessarily struggling. Because when I told God, Lord and Jesus, leave me alone in 1993, I said, leave me alone. And I felt that gap because I didn't know the name of Yahuwah to 2007. So this is 1993. Well, that's like 14 years before. Right? So here I am. I'm like, I'm out. Now I'm going to tell y'all, I just went buck wild. I started partying. I went from preaching in the pulpit to I was partying. I was in the club. Just like that. Called my agent up. Said, hey, I want to sign. I'm coming back. Put some fillers out there. See you. And they said, you got any preferential teams? I said, I really like to go to the Rockies because one of my best friends, Jay Gaynor, he was playing with me with the Padres. And me and him won back-to-back championships. He was the first baseman. me and Jay, and I said, because Jay got traded to the Rockies, his first pitch in the major leagues, he hits a home run, Coors Stadium. His bat right now is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Man, I called Jay up. He said, man, it's a great organization. So I told my agent I want to go there. They got in a little bidding war with some different teams, Texas Rangers, I don't know. Of course, the Padres, I was playing. They were like, they couldn't believe I wasn't coming back. They said, what do we do wrong? I said, nothing. I just want change of environment. I want to change everything. I appreciate all y'all did. I'm going, and I signed with the Rockies. Now, y'all listen. I was in the pulpit preaching. I did 5 sermons. I was in seminary. I was in all this stuff. And I went from that to I was in the club, dropping it like it's hot. I was partying. I was out all night drinking. Buck wild. Do y'all know? And they was wondering, is he still going to have it? In 1994, after being off an entire year, I had my greatest season ever. I dominated. You can see my stats. You look at my 1994 stats, you're going to go, look at that jump. I'm proving to you that Satan, the prince of this world, will give you whatever you want. And Yahuwah will let him do it. And Yahuwah will go on and enjoy this world. Because I'm going to throw you in the lake on the other side. Come on, Brian. It was created for that. He said, Brian sees it. Brother Brian said, I believe the internet was created just so it would make possible to spread of Yahuwah much faster. Exactly. That's www. If you look at my numbers from 1992, I take off, you won't see a 93. Why? I quit. See, I did what hardly any of y'all will do. I sacrificed everything to go figure out what in the hell is the truth. Huh? I said, what's the truth? What's the truth? Most people don't have a clue, man, what I had going on. That's funny, Joe. You said that. Hold on. We're going to get into it, y'all. We're going to have a great session. I'm going to do a shout out to everybody. Just go over right now. Truth Scriptures. I go over to tsinfo.org and contribute. I'm going to shout out everybody that's contributed. But people don't understand what it was like to be in that world I was in. I want to drive that point home. Because most of y'all stay in this in-between mode. And I'm telling you, I gave my life up from dealing with all spiritual stuff. And I went to buck wild. And everything was being given to me in this world. It was crazy. I could go party all night, sleep for 4 or 5 hours, go to the ballpark and dominate, and then go right back out and party again. And I did that for a couple years, just turn and burn. I did it in the States. I played in major leagues in Venezuela, partying like a rock star down there. Dominating. Who gonna tell me what? Like I'm sitting there going, what are you gonna tell me about the struggle of making a decision? What are you gonna tell me about a struggle of making a decision? Watch it. Hold on. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna show y'all something else. I'm gonna show y'all something else. Then I'm gonna go in. Watch this. This is funny, man. This is funny. Where'd he go? All right. All right, I see it now. Hold on one second. I'm gonna be right. Because I want to drive something home that I'm gonna teach you. It's gonna be nuts. Okay? All right, hold on. This is tripping. I just gotta get this thing right. Come on with it. Fix it for me. Is any of this thing, anything I'm saying to y'all making any sense at all? Right? Because I want you, because I know I'm dealing with the real life people, not the people who want to just keep faking this stuff and don't do nothing. See, I'm working on kingdom business, adding people to the kingdom. See, I'm working on adding people to the kingdom, but you're not going to add anybody to the kingdom until you get in the trenches and you relate with them. You see, you got to relate with the people. 1 second. Let's do this. All right, now I got it dialed in. Hold on, let me get it. Let me dial it in now. If you can't relate with the people and get in the trenches and let them feel real life, people need to know, okay, I need to be able to relate to something. Yeah. Let me see if I can get this now. Here we go. They need to relate to something. That should work. Yep. All right, I'm going to put this on the screen. And then I'm going to go in. I just want to pull up because Joe reminded me of something. That's cool, Joe. You reminded me of that. Because see, people want stuff in this world, and then they want to after this world. They want to have it great in this world, and after this world, they want to get it. But the thing is, they won't deal with the truth over here because they don't want to rock everybody's boat, thinking that they can go manipulate the creator of all. You're not going to manipulate your creator. WDC said your history is invigorating and encouraging. See, that's brand new. I want to talk to you brand new people. Look, most people didn't have it like this. Man, I was on posters. There you go. I was on the programs. That's the AA team for the San Diego Padres, the Wranglers in Wichita. It said forecast. We went in this studio shoots. That's my boy Jay Gaynor. Former Major League Baseball player Jay Gaynor. Forecast. Take it down. Hold on. Let me get rid of that caption right there. Hold on. Forecast for Wichita. Thunder and lightning. You want to know why? That dude got some crazy power. He was one of the top home run hitters in the entire nation. And hardly anybody in the nation can hang with me and stealing bases. It was going to be some damage on that field when we showed up. It was going to be some domination taking place when we showed up. Our squads, we came on. But out of the whole nation, they put me and Jay on a poster. This was going on everywhere. Look back then, before people was wearing high tops. We were some of the first people to wear high tops. Then you started seeing all the other players, Eric Davis and all them start wearing it. We was doing that first, as far as I know. Number 5. That was my number. I said, what's your number? 5. Think about it. People didn't have it like that. Hardly anybody you know in this world had that kind of attention on them and say, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of here. I give it up. I want to find out the truth. So, y'all, I was on the post. That's 1992. After I finished that season, we just won another championship. I just won another stolen base championship. And now we're going to go to major leagues. And I say, I quit. Now we got the big contracts coming. We're going to have generational wealth. Y'all know Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds. Y'all know Alex Rodriguez. That was my roommate with the Mariners. You see? Pedro Martinez, Mike Piazza. I know all these people were my boys. We all tight. To this day, we're going to send a shout out. Brandy said, I just got done looking at how to repent and follow Yahuwah on your site. Very well put together. Loving and scriptural truth. I relate and want more. Shout out to Sister Brandy. Y'all give Sister Brandy some love. She's over on Facebook. Look on the screen there. Look. See, you see these new people popping up? Because they're relating to my story. They relate to the realness of it. They don't get to hardly hear anybody that's been in the position I'm in that go, all that you want in this world, I don't have. You know? All that you going after, all that fame and fortune and attention, being in newspapers, people wanting your autograph, people interviewing you, all that money. Man, when I was 19, I had just all tens of thousands of dollars in my hands to do whatever I wanted to do with. Hardly anybody's lived like that. I've lived like that. I used to walk around with no less than $5,000 in my pocket. Young whippersnapper, 19, 20 years old. So you understand? I'm telling you what I'm telling you, because I want you to dial in what Sister Brandy said. I went through, and I'm going to tell you, here's the big time, eternal fame. It's right there. You repent, you follow Yahuwah. All of that holes you got that I had in me are going to go away. Now, I done tried it the Christian route. Why do I think that God, Lord, and Jesus are all trash, all scams, all bucket of trash, all terrible stuff? Because I done went after it as hard as anybody you know. And I was very authentic. And all those players on that 1992 team, they will tell you that Nolan, that was a Christian of the Christian. I was on that team dominating being a hardcore Christian. I was dominating being a hardcore Christian. You ain't going to tell me nothing. I got hats. We played in Taiwan. I got to find these pictures, y'all. I got a hat on saying Air Jesus. You remember how to say Air Jordan? I had Air Jesus on my hat. We playing the professional team for Taiwan. We down there playing the first major league, the first professional team from the USA to play the professional team from Taiwan. I was on that team in 1992. And we flew all the way there for a 10-day trip, multiple stadiums, 40-some thousand people in every stadium, packed out. And I'm walking around with Air Jesus and the crosses and all that stuff. And they'll tell you in the locker room, you gotta play some contemporary Christian music. I don't hear none of that other mess. I was like that. Jared, you hear what? Jerron, you feel me? But man, when I found Yahuwah, it was on. When I found Yahuwah in 2007, all them question marks I had, me giving up all the millions of dollars I walked away from, all of that went away. All that regret, all that nonsense. Me being buck wild out there in the streets, all running, playing. It just went away. And I had peace for the first time I can remember in my life. I had peace. Angela said, God, Lord Jesus, for tax purposes. Y'all got to understand. Matter of fact, I'm about to warm it up, man. Before we get up in here, let's do it like this. Everybody that's been over to tsinfo.org that's contributed, we want to give a shout out to everybody because they're making that push for us. Let's do some shout outs right now. Let's do some shout outs to all the family. You can contribute like $3 if you want. We've had people do $3 at one time, and we've had people do $3,000 at one time. We've had people even do $10,000 at one time. We just had them do it all across the board. But here's some of our players already from today that said we understand kingdom business. We understand kingdom business. So they said we're going in. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's see when we sent out the announcement last night. Because when the announcement goes out, you start seeing people take action. You start to see it happen. As soon as the announcement goes out, you'll start seeing people go, oh, all right, I got to ante up and kick in. It's time to go. I got to ante up and kick in. It's time to go. Let's see how it was. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Where are we coming in at? I'm going to see. Right. All right, here we go. Ashley and the Feast, Spence. The Feast and Ashley, $80. Shout out. Come on with it. Irene Ramos, $26. Brother Larry Moment and his awesome wife, Deborah, $150. You do whatever you want. I'm just sending some shout outs. Yeah. Nancy Madison, not only did she give a contribution, she set up a monthly recurring $15. Shout out to Nancy. Kim Breton, $52. Joe and Ebony Carden, $1,000. $1,000. Bringing the A game. Ayunda Mahizzi, $7. One of our strongest supporters, $7. All that stuff is going to add up and count. Annie Johnson, $100. Brandon Johnson, $52. Alvin Gordy, $20. Robert Stevens, $25. Natasha Stevens, his wife, $156. Robert Arinson, one of our top, got to be top 3 supporters, $1,000. Down there in Portugal. Shout out to Robert Arinson. Yvonne Miss Q, Quasar, $5. Yeah. Lynette Simmons, $10. Let's get it. Noah Rubin Rose, $78. Sylvia Johnson, $15. Almost $16 with the change. Victoria Epps, $105, $104. Yamani Thomas, Guardian Keeper, $26. Blake Smith, $169. Queen Nelson, $25. Denise Thompson, $52. Appreciate all this. Look at it. We all coming together. Lisa Bethel over there in the Bahamas, 17. Well, that's 18. 1797, 18. Daniel Bacote, our top supporter, 144. Shout out to Overseer Daniel. Brian Robertson down there in Florida, 30. Let's get it. Let's get it. Brandon Tello, 52. Now, the day before, right before the cut, before the announcement went out, he gave 311. Then he comes back and does 52. I don't know why. And you can leave a comment on the wall to tell why you're doing it, by the way. You can witness as you leave it. You can choose, I want to leave a comment. I love Yahuwah. I want his word to be spread everywhere. You can be a witness for him. William Pola, over there in Northern Ireland, 30. One of our strongest supporters, been consistent. James Hosteller, over the years, consistent, 342. Paula Aquila, consistent, 156. Daniel Libby, always in the mix. Overseer, by the way, 31. Overseer Bill Tech Grabber, up there in Edmonton, Canada, Alberta, Canada, 100. Why are they doing this? Why is everybody pitching in like this that you hear? Nancy Cuadrado, 14. Randy Million, always coming strong, 300. Lisa Moore, 10. Elizabeth Steele Razoo, 41. Jesse Gillespie over in Tennessee. Elizabeth's out in Arizona. Jesse with 20. Draymond Ellis, 150. Him and Cheyenne in the building. Deborah Crochet, 208. Adam Moore, him and Rachel up there in Canada, 104. Sherry Herrick, she's already Purple Diamond. See, some of these people Purple Diamond, they don't stop. They're going to keep building. Where's the kingdom going to stop? It ain't going to stop. We'll start having to give once Yahuwah comes back, but then we'll be in his service. Sherry Harrod, 140. She already purple diamonds. Don't even have to do it. Lisa Austin, 25. Eartha Robinson. That's Roberts. What? 957. Matthew Guerrero, 168. And he's in here supporting on the YouTube channel. Come on. Brenda Spencer, 15. Always strong. Kennedy Pangulu, 3. See that $3? We celebrate that like, woo! Don't matter. You ain't getting shamed in here. We loving on you because everybody can do. Yahuwah said, I'll give seed to the sower. I'm going to give seed to the sower. I'm going to give seed to those who sow. Shout out to Kennedy. Say, hey, that's what I got to do now. I come back when I got some more. I'll work in my neighborhood. I'll work in my city, my town. Jason Shepard, shout out. Jason, 10. Brand new contributor, Chris Garcia, 20. Krista Shepard, Jason's wife, 1070. Shout out, sis. Miss Q again, 2021. Then you'll start to see people come back again and again. Kadeem Elliott, what's up, brother Kadeem? 3. Benjamin Windorf, what's up, Benjamin? 40. Fred Jaswell, always consistent. 93. Jason Jaswell, what's y'all relation, by the way? 75. Isaac Barnes, always consistent. 52. Benjamin Thomas, overseer, 31. Clarence Habershon, like most of these people consistent. Benjamin, 31. Clarence, 100. Eileen Million. Eileen, are you at Purple Diamond? I think she might be Purple Diamond. Or she's getting close. Or she already did it. Put it in the chat, Eileen. 144. She's making a statement. Miss Q again. That's 3 times. 31. Beverly Stevens. She's Purple Diamond. I'm almost positive she's Purple Diamond. 500. Still ain't stopping. They're doing kingdom business. Malakuta Anani. Stephen Floyd, 78. Jason Shepard, back again, 551. Krista Shepard, back again, 551. Natasha Stevens, back again, 156. Jay Cordova coming in with 100. I think Jay Cordova might be. Are you Purple Diamond, Jay Cordova? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat if you Purple Diamond. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. These are people that we're doing kingdom business today. Lewis Cotton, 10. Always coming through. Horatio Farrell, 44. Daniel Libby, overseer, again, 31. Daniel Libby again with another 31. Lisa Alston, 25. Jerron Garrett, 34. Shout out. These are consistent people. They just love the kingdom. Lisa, Jerron, they love it. Brian Austin, over there in Jamaica. Shout out to my brother Brian Austin, 259, representing us in the Caribbean. Brother Bill again from up in Canada, 100. Denise Thompson, always coming through, 52. Lisa Bethel, 12, always coming through. She came through again. She's in the Bahamas. Lorena Belgoza, she's Purple Diamond. She ain't never going to sit back and not make a move to build a kingdom. Not Lorena. And she's on our Spanish translation team, a review team. She in there. She's cranking for y'all. Shout out to my awesome sister Lorena, giving all she got to give a great Spanish translation, and she's been learning, watching what I've translated over here with the team. Buddy Thomas Jr., 551. Lorena did 200. Emily Aguilar always coming through like Buddy, 21. Miss Q again. What's she about 4 times? 11. Brenda Spencer again, 10. Queenie Brown, bam, 26. Robert Stevens again, 25. Melanie Summers, 52. Laura Bowen, she always coming. We go way back, 52. Eula Helgeson, she's over in Sweden, 10. She coming to Sakut in South America. She gave 10. She always contributed. Sylvia Johnson again, 12. Tamara Massey, 5. James Yacob, Nacho Waku. Hope I said it. I'm getting there. Dr. Chukawu, 10. Judy Rios, 343. See, she said, I'm doing 3 and I'm going to cover the little fees that they charge. Brenda Olagu, Brenda's never going to come half-stepping. 669, and she coming to Sakut. Horatia, it's my sister, Horatia, 44. Brandon Jennings, he's Purple Diamond, 29 years old. But he says, hey, he gave 343. He's I'm going to put something in there. He's working with his money coming in. I got 100 here. I got 1,000 here. I got 3 here. I got 5 there. I got 8 there. Brandon, I think he contributes multiple times a week. What the staff told me. Jessica Starks, 41. All right, that's the shout out. It's still coming in. I just want to give a shout out to everybody because that's love for the kingdom. Let me see. Let me get Sister Melanie in here. Hold on. Because I'm getting ready to go in. Where you at, Sister Melanie? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get Melanie here before I go in. Mel, you ready to come in? Because y'all need to hear what I'm about to rip. Y'all need to hear this. Yeah, but I got to set it up. My sister got to get in here. Where you at, Mel? Where Melanie at? Where Melanie at? All right, Mel, you got the link. You got the link. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it in later on when I need the, I'm putting a review team today too. Just in case I need review team, y'all got the link in there. Overseers, just in case I need y'all. Y'all got the link in there. All right, just in case I need y'all to come in. I'm going to need some of y'all later. Yeah. We're going to get Sister Melanie here. I'm going to tell you, because she's been a senior reviewer. And she's worked. She's worked and worked and worked so hard. I sent you the link, Melanie. You got it. Wachuku. All right, James. Hey, we're going to be down in Saku. He going to be down in Saku. Now, there got my sister up in the building. Let me get her on the screen. Beautiful. What's going on, Sid?
Oh, it's just a beautiful day to be alive in Yahuwah.
We've been doing the thing since. Have we been doing the thing?
Oh, yep.
Can you hear me good? I hear you good.
Can you hear me?
I hear you great.
All right.
Have we been doing the thing, sis? Have we been doing the thing?
Yeah, we've been doing the thing. We've been doing the thing when we're wide awake, and we're doing the thing when our heads are on the computer asleep.
Yeah, have you ever fell asleep like that? I've done it. Have you done it?
Oh, in the last 3-4 weeks, yeah, I did that many times. Did that a few times here and there.
You wake up like, where am I? Where am I at? And then you get up and you get everything straight, get yourself back together. All right, Melanie, here's why I wanted you on here.
Yeah.
Because you see we're at the finish line on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanie is a professional educator of over 40 years. She has her own platform that teaches parents how to homeschool. She is a award-winning author. So you got some bestsellers, correct, in the world?
I do. I've got 4.
4 bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers. She got 4 in multiple countries. So she's very well traveled and astute. And the reason I want her to talk to y'all today, because she's had a chance, because what happens is I translate and I have a team that supports. They're in the background. They don't want to be up here in the front. And I go in the trenches and then I upload, and then senior reviewers like Melanie and Sherry, they go in and they check everything out. Then we bring other people in after the case. But Melanie, could you kind of go back through since you've been on the project? Mm-hmm. What have you noticed? What could be some things you could say to the new people and to the people that's been around or brand new people coming in alike? What could you say to them about this project?
It is the most important project that I have ever worked on. It is the most important project for worldwide consumption of just who Yahuwah is, how he loves us, how he has from the very beginning loved us, and how he has grieved over his people who have departed from his ways, but he always forgave them and brought them back every single time. And, you know, one of the most heartfelt stories was just a couple of verses in Bereshit, sign named Genesis, when he created man.
Mm.
He created man. He didn't speak man into an existence. He formed man with his own hands. And then he didn't just give man life, he breathed the breath of life personally into man. Personally, can you imagine? I imagine like mouth respiration, where he put his lips on this creation and breathed life into it. We are the only creation that I have read that he personally formed us and personally breathed life into us. And that is how much he loved man. And he has loved his creation. He has regretted making him after all of their sinful ways, but he's always said, nope, 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 I'm going to give him another chance. And he's giving us another chance right now with this new translation, straight from his word, straight from his pen through man. He is giving us this chance once again to know exactly what he has said, not any repeats. I see all of these other translations like the game of gossip that we used to play in school, where you whispered something into a child's ear and it went around the room and it
Whisper
always
down
came
the
out.
lane. Whisper down the lane.
Yeah. And that you're not getting a whisper down the lane. You're getting it straight from Yahuwah's mouth. And I am absolutely blown away. I have cried. There's a few times I went laughed,
Right.
but I am just right now I am so amazed with the love of my creator. And he'll give you that to you. I can't wait for all of you who are listening to me. I can't wait until you get this Tanak into your hands, because you are going to understand 100% the Bariyt Hadash. And how many times the Bariyt Hadash quoted from the things that were just translated verbatim. Verbatim. And for people to say, there's no such thing as a creator. That's just for the thousands of years, the time that went on from the day he created man to the day he created the earth and then man. All of those things that went by, you can see it again in the Bariyt Hadash. Yeah. And you can really begin to understand the book of Hazun, sign name Revelation. I mean, you can understand. It's just a cycle of repeats, and we are right now in one of those cycles.
So Melanie, you had mentioned to me before, you felt growing up in the church that you was done.
Oh
until
yeah.
you found YAHUAH, and then you got in the trenches with the Truth Scriptures. Maybe touch on that a little bit.
I grew up very strictly in a denomination called the Church of Christ. And yeah, and I got a divorce from, my first person that I civilly married, because that's what a government marriage is, and they do that. And I was told I was going to hell by my own mother.
Wow.
I can remember, I thought, well, somebody's got to be responsible for, at least giving my children an option. So what did I do? I took them right back into that circus. and raised them there.
Mm.
And I can remember one time I was sitting there, and they asked, everybody remembers Vacation Bible School, right? I would think, all you ladies that want to help with VBS, come on up here to the front. We'll put somebody back there to watch the kids. And I went up and I sat down there, and I felt a tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. And one of the elders of the church said, yeah, I need to talk to you. And I came back, and I said, okay, what is it? He goes, we don't need your help.
Wow.
I said, excuse me? He said, you're divorced and we don't want you to be an influence on our children.
Come on, Mel.
And I'm like, well, I was not thinking about teaching. I was thinking about, maybe baking cookies and things. And he said, we don't need your cookies. So I took my contaminated cookies and my children and left.
That is bizarre, man. That is crazy. Are y'all listening?
And so I went my whole life thinking I had no chance.
Okay, so how many years did you think in the back of your mind, I'm going to hell? How many years?
Well,
estimate.
I got that first divorce when I was 22 years old. And I did not find Yahuwah until 2018, 2019.
So you were about how old? About 64?
Right now? How old am I now?
When you found Yahuwah, about 60?
Probably about 65, 66 years old.
That's when you found Yahuwah.
And in a couple pagan months, I'm going to be 71. So
for 40 some years. Mm-hmm. Seriously, Melanie, in your being, you felt you were going to hell.
I did. And I just hoped that, just maybe this much of a chance that maybe I'd be forgiven a little bit and didn't get into too hot of the pit. Wow. I was resigned to the fact that I would live eternity being in suffering and shame.
All right, so now you find Yahuwah, you start reading about him and understanding, and then what happened? So what was the difference?
The difference is that I now know the truth. I now know that Yahuwah doesn't cast his children off. If you don't believe in Yahuwah and you go and you do whatever you want to do, that's on you. That's your choice.
So when you found Yahuwah, here's the new people. So you had all that in the past. You had all that guilt. That's a big one. All that guilt, right? Was it heavy? It was heavy, right?
Oh, I felt like every brick in creation and on this planet that was on my shoulders fell off, and I feel light. I know I can go to my Father, who's everyone's Father if you choose him. I can go to my Father, and he makes things happen for me. He actually makes, every once in a while, I've done things like this that people aren't going to maybe not believe this, but I will tell you 100% it is true. I have done things like lost my keys and searched everywhere for them and make that fifth lap through and say, I have to have my keys. Please help me find them, and walk back into the kitchen, and they're laying in the middle of the kitchen table. And I know they weren't there because I searched that thing, took everything off, put everything back on.
So it's like Yahuwah was just testing to see if you would call on him.
Yeah.
Like he does like little things. I noticed that he'll do like little things to just test you to see, do you believe me?
Well, he did that during this translation. You saw the message, I'm sure, in the thread where I'm like, I'm lost with this word gate. I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And I took 24 hours and I just kind of meditated, and I just said, I know the answer's there and I know you're going to give it to me. What am I not thinking about? And he said, it's my gate. I heard that. It's my gate.
It's my gate. Melanie, there's a question on the screen. There's a question on the screen. I want you to see. You take your first jab at it. From Roseanne. How did you find Yahuwah? How did you find that the name was wrong, that JC, that Jesus Christ was wrong? So can you help her with your story, your side of it?
Well, I didn't find him until after I met Emissary Jay. But someone who used to be a friend of mine and I was close to, who lived close to Jay in Florida, told me, have you ever heard of Yahuwah? And I said, don't think I have. So through this person whom I no longer, talk too much with, but she mentioned the name of Yahuwah and a little bit, and the minute she said her name, or said his name, I was like, that's what I've missed my whole life.
Wow.
So I can thank that person for that.
Yeah.
And I think you know who I'm talking about. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, we know. It's so many good things come out of all kind of. Yahuwah uses different situations for his purposes. Now watch. Roseanne asked, how did you find? I told my story, so go back and listen to the first session, part 1. Mm-hmm. This is part 2. Now she asked, I'm going to answer this part. How'd you find out that JC was wrong? It's really kind of simple. Well, all my prayers, all of my prayers were never fully answered, if answered at all. So once I knew something was wrong, which something's wrong, Roseanne, I started researching. Once I researched, I found out that the letter J is less than 500 years old. Did you do that same research, Melanie?
Not at first. Mine was a little different.
Okay.
When I first moved to, you know this story. When I first moved to Arizona, my very first teaching assignment was 3 years at the Phoenix Hebrew Academy.
Okay.
And I taught little Orthodox Jewish girls and boys in 6th, 7th, and 8th.
But you weren't Jewish yourself, right?
No. I was not in charge of the Jewish studies. I was in charge of the Gentile studies of science,
okay,
science and math.
Okay. Keep going. This is good, y'all.
And I had 6th graders for all subjects, all major subjects, language arts, math, science, and social studies. So in the 7th and 8th grade, they separate their boys and their girls. The girls and boys cannot go together because there's a possibility at that age, the boys go through bar mitzvah at 13 and the girls go through bat mitzvah at 12. And that makes them a full woman and man in their religion. And therefore, a man cannot touch a woman that is not his sister or his mother or his aunt or family like that, especially if they were on their menstrual cycle.
Okay.
So if I had the girls, I had to wipe the seats off or put the boys in a different seat where the girls were. Okay. Exactly. So it was that. But I digress because the boys got a concept that they were just struggling with in science. And I said, hallelujah. And they went, oh, you can't say that word.
How old were they?
Hallelujah.
No, how old were they?
They were 7th and 8th grade. So they were 13,
14 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they freaked out when you said hallelujah?
Yes.
Why?
And I said,
watch this, y'all.
Why? Yeah, why? And they said, They leaned in and they said, because it has a real name of God in it. And I was like, huh? Huh?
Wow.
I said, what are you talking about? They wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't say it out loud, but they said the last syllable, Mrs. Summers.
Yeah.
And they said, don't say it.
Wow.
So fast forward a couple years, and I hear the real name of YAHUAH,
Yeah.
and I went, oh.
He was on the trail.
And then I knew I'd been lied to. That's when I started doing a little bit of study and a little bit, and I was still using the translations, the things. But then I started hearing, no, if you use this version of the Bible, it's more clearer. So I got the New South Africa, the Truth, or the what, I can't even remember what it is, and started reading it, and it was a little bit different, and it used the real name, but it still wasn't perfect. And then I found out that there's no W, V, J, O, or E, and I'm reading this, and there's all that in there, and I'm like, well, this one isn't right. And then by that time, it's just like I knew I had to do more. And then I was asked to help with the Bariyt Hadash. And there's no going back. No going back. It is a life-changing experience to be able to push all of that heavy weight of I'm going to hell anyway off your shoulders, and no, I'm going to be in eternity with my brothers and my sisters and my Creator.
Y'all got that? Y'all got it? Y'all got it now. So Roseanne, you see, she was on it right there. And everybody says it's the only word in the world that's pronounced virtually the same in all languages. It's hallelujah. Because Yahuwah says, if you don't say it, I'm going to make these rocks scream it out. Now, when you take hallelujah and you transpose it, you get Yahuwah. The exact letters that's in hallelujah are in Yahuwah, except you just drop the two L's, the two laments. You drop the two laments out, transpose it, you got Yahuwah. So he witnesses through the word hallelujah. It's too many coincidences, Melanie. It's just too many.
Absolutely, there is. Absolutely.
So this project, final words, and I'm going to go in with the lesson. This project, the Truth Scriptures Tanak, that we're asking people to go to tsinfo.org and support. You got boots on the ground. You behind the scenes. You see the work, the effort, the sweat, the blood, the tears. Why should people support this from your standpoint?
Why should people support it?
Yeah.
Do you want the end to come so that you have a chance to go to eternity to be with your Father? Because it says he's not coming back until his word has gone throughout the whole world. And we can't get it throughout the whole world without your support. People, as being a 4-time international best-selling author, publishing a book is not cheap.
Nope.
My book, the one for homeschooling, cost me in excess of $30,000.
Y'all got that?
Out of my own pocket. And that's just one book. My book is you order it and they print it. It's not a mass production to go throughout the world. So if you want this to go throughout the world, think of how many copies at $30,000 has to be donated. Because I don't have that kind of money to do it. I know Emissary doesn't have that kind of money just to whip out his wallet and say, I'm going to do this for the whole world.
Right.
If you want it, if you want your copy, if you want this to go throughout the world so that the prophecies are complete, we gotta have the currency to do it with. It's not like, we're asking you to, pay us. You're going to take it and just fly. No,
Right.
it's got to be the money that's donated for this is for this project and everything that is around this project. What's involved in this project? It's just not the books.
Talk to him, Melanie. Talk to him.
It's just not printing books. It's, not everybody volunteers their time, which means not everybody is going to do something without a little of this in their pocket.
Right.
Just, right here. So you got multiple people you have to pay. You've got your the songs. Well, somebody's got to sing those songs.
What about that platform, Melanie? What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
People had to put that whole platform together and put out 120 songs in less than a year. What do you think?
They couldn't do it. But in order to do that, you had to have the software and equipment to do it. That I used to own a radio station, believe it or not. That's another cap I've won. I know how much that equipment costs. It ain't cheap.
Right.
So in order to put all of that stuff together and to layer all of those layers on top of that, you have to have different components and things to do. It isn't cheap. It's expensive. You have to pay people. In the paper in the book, you probably could, just the paper in the book, you probably could have gone for the lowest grade paper.
Yep.
I know you didn't do that.
They present it to you.
No, you didn't do that. And each one of those grains, it's called grains of paper, the higher you go, the more it costs. The binding, though, you can do a cheap glue for the spine of the book.
Yep.
Or
it's
you can,
it's going to tear.
or if you're like, I know you're not going to want this masterpiece to fall apart the first 5 times people open it up.
They're going to sew this one, Melanie. They're going to sew it.
Oh, that's the highest grade. I know a little bit about that. That's the highest grade.
They're sewing this tonight.
And if you want your books that you get, if you want this Tanak to be something that you can use over and over and hand it down, and they can use it over and over, you don't want the cheapest quality. So that costs. So, I've just told you, 3 things: quality versus non-quality.
Okay, now you having the experience you got, this is an important question here. Being an educator and an author, being all this, to have a full translation team that understands, I'm going to ask her, this is an educator, y'all, that understands Hebrew, scriptural Hebrew, Aramaic, and even Greek, what not to do with, understands vowel pointing, and then goes in and word for word translates from Bereshit Genesis all the way to Hazum Revelation. What do you estimate that would cost to put that team together to do that full time over a 3-year, 2-month period?
Well, it's not in the thousands. Let's put it that way. It would cost millions of dollars to do that, because not only is it the people that do that, it is the books that had to be purchased. And some of those books are rare. You buy a rare book, you're not going to pay $10.99 for it. Nope. Unless it's at 10, 9999. Seriously, rare books are hard to find, and they are extremely expensive. So,
Because you've had consultants and stuff in publishing and what you got to pay to get their time to nail stuff down.
mhm,
And you do this type of a project. She told y'all right. You would have to pay. We did the estimate all the way up through the Bariyt Hadash with the PTT music platform. What all that would take if you had to go put that out, it was like 3.2 million. We haven't had to do that much. You see? Because y'all got to understand, you've been able to hire myself and this team I put together that happens to all call and love Yahuwah. And we've been able to get that discounted and keep that razor sharp for the kingdom. And we got to eat. I got to eat. I got a kid I got to take care of. I got a wife to take care of. I got time in this. To do what I do, if you just had to hire me on this, Melanie, what do you think? If you had to just come and say, okay, we're going to hire you to do it.
well, you would be negotiating a contract that is beyond my capabilities. I mean, seriously, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of
And
dollars.
you're talking about over certain month frames. Like people have
Yes.
paid me. Melanie knows. People have paid me for my consultation work, non-scriptural. For my consultation work, I've had people pay up to, I think one of my better contracts was $240,000 to $20,000 a month for a year just to consult with them. I've had other multi-million-dollar offers, but I had to get this work done.
Yes.
So I'm never, ever going to have to worry about money. Never going to have to worry about money, ever. See, and that's what Satan hates about me. He hates it, man. I can't trap that dude on the money thing. If I take away all of his money, he'll send people like Melanie and a whole squad. Melanie will blow the whistle and go, shh, and like 1,000 people will show up. And they'll go, no, can't hurt him, can't touch him. Is that true or not true?
It's true. That's
Why?
true.
Why would you do that for me?
Because it's like, have you ever played that game? What's the name of it? King of the Hill? When you were a kid?
Yes.
What did everyone have to do? They had to protect something. What did they have to protect?
Right.
Right? Everybody on the team had to protect the king on the hill. Why? Because the king was the most important player, right?
That's right.
And if they got to the king of the hill, you lost.
Right.
Well, we're playing a spiritual game of king of the hill.
Right.
And if the king gets captured, what happens to the rest of us? So you got to protect. That's just all there is to it. And everyone on this team, I think, can relate. If they just really think, they'll have a similar experience as I did too. You can't move on. I know what it is. You can't move on to do other things until this project is signed, sealed, and delivered to Yahuwah.
That.
I had a similar situation when I was called to do this, and we talked about this one time.
Yep.
I wanted to write or produce my own brand of workbooks for children in math and language arts.
Yep.
with an accompanied interactive notebook per workbook.
Yep.
I can't do that. It's just not come to fruition. But I know that once this project's done, I can go do what I want to do.
That.
And when I make this, and when I do this, there's not going to be any paganism in it. There's not going to be count the ornaments for the Christmas tree. There's not going to be how many Easter eggs go into the basket.
That's so true.
There's not going to be how many apples can you put in the cornucopia.
Yep.
There's not going to be any of that in mine. And people will buy it who don't even know his name and not realize that they're going to have a spectacular thing to work with here. It's going to include everything, and there's not going to be one bit of paganism in it. Not one smidge. Not one smidge.
And Yahuwah has trained you to make your thoughts and language tight to take into your work.
Exactly.
So that work is Baruch. The work becomes and blessed. See, whatever you put your hands to is going to be Baruch because you've learned his ways. You got the backstage. You got to realize hardly anybody on here has read the Tanak from the Truth Scriptures, the purest form word in the world that we know of. From the beginning of there's 39 books coming in there. You've read all 39 books, Melanie?
I have.
How many
detailed. This was a little bit longer than the Bariyt Hadash, so it was only probably about 10 times.
10 times. How many people in their life? So now you've read the entire scriptures, what they call the found scriptures, right? From Bereshit all the way to Revelation. How many people ever read that whole thing in their life? They ever read it from front to back? Even in their pagan scriptures, they don't read it from front to back.
With understanding.
Right. Even if they go read it, most people they put it down. Didn't you tell me you would put yours down until you go, what?
Oh no, because it was like, this is too wild for me. Thank you very much. This is like, oh, this is kind of like.
Did you ever read a Bible from front to back, Melanie?
Maybe once, but in chunks, not in just sitting and reading.
And you mean to tell me you've read this coming out of translation 10 plus times? The Bariyt Hadash, don't tell her how many times, 20 or 30.
Oh, that was over 30 times.
All right. So now, what can they expect, Melanie? Because these hardly anybody, it's rare. It's getting ready to come to the world. What can they expect?
What can you they're going to expect to be able to sit down and go, oh, I got it. Oh, now I understand that. Well, wait a minute. Let me read that again. Oh, it goes back over here. They'll go back and they'll reread that. And that is something that you will pick up if you don't, over in that other world, they'll pick and choose verses to read to prove a point.
Right.
Am I right or am I right?
1,000% right.
In this, you're going to read something and you're going to go, oh, okay, well, what were they talking about? And you will just naturally go up 2 or 3 verses, or maybe back to the very first verse, and you'll reread it and you'll go, oh, now I understand that. And they'll pick and choose things out. And then when you do it our way, after reading the truth, you're going to go, wow, I was really wrong on that, or I believed this my whole life, and now I find out it's not true. Or, well, where did that come from? Math, I'm going to tell you right now, just in the Bariyt Hadash, if you don't have the Bariyt Hadash, you need to get it, because Matata Kiyuhu, that's Matthew, first chapter, read it from beginning to end. It will blow your mind. That one chapter.
It blow your mind. You go, wow.
And then you will bring it back to the Tanak, where it was prophesied.
Yes.
That one woman was going to have a child whose name would be Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
And it was her that would have it. But everyone thinks she was a virgin.
we're gonna lay it out for y'all to be able to get this to where you're gonna go, I got it. Then you get to know your creator. Now,
intimately.
so you
Do
have
you know?
conversation with Yahuwah.
Yeah,
Like it's like
you know,
daddy to you, right? Daddy.
yeah, absolutely. It's like, and there will be times when you're going to be so happy, you're going to talk to him. He already knows how happy you are and why. Because he knows everything, because he is the air.
Mm.
Why do you think he knows everything?
Mm.
The air is everywhere.
Everywhere.
And my goodness, he already knows why you're overjoyed, and then you can bring it to him. And then it's kind of like, you think you're happy now, watch this.
And now you pray.
I do.
And it always gets answered.
Oh my. Yes. One way or another, it always gets answered. Sometimes I will caution sometimes on this. You'll pray for something and he'll say, okay, you sure you want that? And there's sometimes you take it on yourself. You don't, I'm guilty of this. And when you're guilty of doing something without going to the Father and you get your finger slapped, you have no one to blame but yourself. Because if you go off on your own and just do something out of fear, that's recently happened to me, and I just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And I did not stop and say, Father, what's wrong with this situation? Just lead me through this. I know it would not have happened, but I didn't. And he's like, okay, you can just take the consequences then. Learn. Learn, child.
Yep.
He will. Learn
You
from
know.
your mistakes.
Any final words, Sister Melanie, before you get out of here, before I go wrap us up for this session?
Folks, do you want this beautiful book to be put in your hand? Now, I just happen to have my Bariyt Hadash here, the nice one. Do you want this book in your hand? Then I know that this is going to last for a very long time. Do you want this to go not just in your hands? Do you want the Tanak, the true Tanak, to go throughout the world, to be paired with this, so that it is just kind of like a reference book to each other? Do you want that to go through all the world? That's a yes or a no.
Okay.
It's not going to get done by itself. It's not going to be, oh, there they are.
That's right.
Got to have the work behind it, got to have the funds behind it. It's not so that, emissary can say, okay, let's go on vacation. We don't have to do that. I mean, like, it's not that at all. And by the way, there is that one verse where you don't muzzle the ox that's grinding the grain.
Right.
So let's not hold back. Let's make sure it happens in its best form. Only those people who are listening to this, only you can do this. You are called. If you believe in Yahuwah, if you've called on his name, you've been immersed in his name. If you are part of that kahal, especially the 144, this is upon you and everyone who believes in Yahuwah. This is your calling now. It's your calling to make it happen. It's your choice to make it happen. You can choose to make it happen, or you can choose to sit on your hands. It's up to you. The sooner the funding is made, the quicker it's going to get done. That's all I can say.
We love you. We appreciate you. Y'all put some fire emojis in the chat for Sister Melanie. She's been pouring her soul into this. Wanted to give her some shine today because she just really, really authentically, and she never asked for nothing. Melanie's like, I don't know. Melanie, want to get some paid? No, don't pay me nothing. No. Melanie, here, take something. No. Y'all got to love on your sister because she does this with the pure heart of joy for the love of our Father. Y'all put them fire emojis in the chat. We love you, Sister Melanie. You the bomb.
Love you too.
Isn't that cool, y'all? To have Melanie come in here. I want y'all to hear that. A little intimate time from somebody back behind the scenes watching all the words come out. When the translation goes over, she's sitting there watching all the words. Her, Sherry, Yamani now's in there. They just watching all the words. And they're seeing the word becoming flesh. The word is becoming flesh. And I told you earlier, you can't get around. Yeshayahu, we are now clear. Yeshayahu, I should say, actually, Yahuhanan. You can't get around Yahuhanan. Chapter 8. And in the last session, I'm going to load up on some new stuff out of the Tanak. I'm going to load up. So y'all just be patient. The Spirit is working with me today on what we need to do here. I'm being very patient. It's telling me. You can't get around John chapter 8, verse 56, when Yahushua himself says, your father Abraham rejoiced to see me, and he did see me, and he was glad. And then we go over to Genesis chapter 18, and it said Yahuwah appeared. That's incredible. Yahuwah appeared to Abraham where there was nobody named Yahushua. That was the Savior in the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament. Nobody got any evidence. There's no mention of the name Yahushua as the Savior. None. Now, I'm going to give you a big sign in the next session. I'm going to blow your mind, as a matter of fact, from the Tanakh, something I've never read to you before, ever. And the review team, they called it, and they were asking me questions, because I knew when I get to it, I have everything tight. And they were all asking questions. What is that? What is that? Well, and I told them, I said, I'm going to do a training on that. Well, I'm going to do that in the third session when we get back here at around 6:20 Eastern Standard Time. 6:20 Eastern Standard Time. But we know that we have this evidence that Yahushua says in the Bariyt Hadash, that's the New Testament, that Abraham was glad to see him. And he did see him. And then we go to Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 18, verse 1. Yahuwah appeared to Abraham by the oak trees of Mamre. And he spends time with him. See, this is what Yahushua was talking about. How do we know? When Abraham looked up, he saw 3 men standing near him. Then, listen, when he looked up, he saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran out from the tent to greet them and bowed himself to the ground. Why? Because Yahushua said, your father Abraham rejoiced to see me. That's why he bowed down. And he did see me. And he was glad. And he said, hold on. What did Abraham say in this encounter? What's the first thing that Abraham said? He runs up, he bows down. He bows down. There's Yahuwah with 2 messengers. There's 2 messengers from heaven, the Shemiah, with Yahuwah. Abraham, The first thing he said in verse 3, chapter 18 of Genesis, Bereshit, he says, my Yahuwah. That's the first thing he said. My Yahuwah. Why didn't he say my Yahusha if it was Yahusha? That's the Savior. The first thing Abraham said was, my Yahuwah, if I have found favor in your eyes, do not leave your servant. I beg of you. He said, don't leave me. Spend some time here with me. He rejoiced. He was glad. Then he says, please allow a little water to be brought in order to wash your feet and to rest yourselves under the tree. Let me get some bread to comfort your hearts. And then after that, you can pass on. This is the reason why you have come to your servant. He said, you come to me so I can honor you. Just what Yahusha said. He rejoiced to see him. Right? He rejoiced to see him. What? Abraham, I'm going to take you back. John, YAHUAH 8:56. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see me, and he did see me and was glad. And now we got the story of what he's talking about here. Abraham said, let me get some bread. They replied, do as you have said. Yahuwah is there with his messengers. And then all three of them replied, do as you said. Abraham ran into the tent to Sarah, son named Sarah, and said, quickly, prepare 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make some bread. Then Abraham ran to the herd, selected a healthy, tender, young calf, gave it to his servant, and he hurried to prepare it. He took butter, milk, and the calf, which he had dressed. So he slaughtered the calf. Yahuwah going to eat some ribeye. See, all of y'all get caught up, man, you got to be a vegetarian, you got to be this and that. Y'all missing it. You don't know the scriptures. If that's what you want to do, like Brother Shaul said, go ahead. If you just want to eat vegetables, that's up to you. If you want to be vegan, that's up to you. But don't pass that over here as if you better than. And the people that eat meat, you don't pass it over. But I can tell you, when Yahuwah came before Abraham, Yahuwah going to get him some New York strip, some filet mignon, some ribeye. He brought the calf, which he had dressed, set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they ate. Yep, Yahuwah ate in some steak with some bread, with some butter, with some milk. What y'all gonna do about this? What are y'all gonna do about this fact? Then they said to him, where is your wife Sarah? Yahuwah got his edification with him. And he said, she is in the tent. Then he said, Yahuwah, yeah. Wait a minute. Is that right? Then he said, Yahuwah, I shall certainly return to you according to the time it takes to produce life. And take notice, your wife Sarah shall have a son. Sarah was listening in the tent door behind them. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah was past the way of women to have a baby. So Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am so old, and my master being old as well, will I have pleasure? Sarah going, am I going to give me a piece? Sarah going, am I going to get a little taste? Am I going to get a shot at it again? Bro, her and Abraham probably ain't knocked no boots in a long time. That's the way she acting. She like, I'm about to, you know what she thinking. What y'all thinking? She thinking, I'm going to have an orgasm again. Let's just tell it like it is. That's why she said, I'm going to have pleasure, meaning I'm going to have an orgasm again at this age. What? Then Yahuwah said to Abraham, why does Sarah laugh, saying, will I truly have a child, being that I'm so old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? Y'all better understand. Yahuwah. This one right here. YAHUAH, chapter 8, verse 56. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see me, and he did see me, and he was glad. Look. He's here talking, saying, she laughed. And Robert said, he's screaming over there. What? She laughing. Is there anything too hard for Yahuwah? Nope. At the set time, I shall return to you, the time it takes to produce life, and Sarah shall have a son. However, Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, because she was afraid. Yahuwah replied, yes, you did laugh. The men rose up from there and looked towards Sodom. You know Sodom and Gomorrah. They're about to go down there and tear some stuff up. Abraham went with them to see them on their way. Then Yahuwah said, shall I hide from Abraham what I'm doing? See, they was tight like that. That's why Yahusha, who is Yahuwah, is giving an account to them. I've already hung out with Abraham. And then they came and said, you ain't even 50 years old. What you talking about? He said, I tell you, before Abraham was born, Ayah Ayiti. He spoke in Hebrew. Ayah Ayiti, meaning I am and I have always existed. That's what that means. Ayah Ayiti. I am and I have always existed. So how can you be born if you've always existed? That's why we don't say that Yahusha, the son, is born to Yahuwah. We call it what it is. He's of Yahuwah because he is Yahuwah, who has set up an edification system. And the Truth Scriptures, as far as we can find, we done million, like 4 or 5 million views. As far as we can find, we can't find no other scriptures out there that proves that Yahuwah is the only Savior, and proves it so clear that you can't argue it. It takes all of the nonsense out of the way. So if you love that, you get up in the camp with us and let's go. Because nothing's too hard for Yahuwah. And the time of Yahuwah, the kingdom of Yahuwah is now here upon you. It's here. You now have come face to face with the kingdom of Yahuwah. He sent me to prepare the way for his return. I'm telling you, you never know what it's going to look like. I'm telling you, you do not know who I am. As of this point, you do not know. And I'm not allowed to tell you at this point. I can only impress upon you information that if you reason, you go, this has to be from the Most High. He done sent this dude here to lay this out so clear. And nobody can argue it. They can get mad, but they will not put any money up. We proved that Yahusha is Yahuwah. And it was only under the name Yahusha for 33 years. Before that, it was Yahuwah. After that, he's Yahuwah Mashiach. Before that, he was Yahuwah Mashiach. He's that Mashiach that he says in Yeshayahu, chapter 43. That's just who he is. He says, I am Yahuwah. And besides me, there is no other Mashiach. There is no other Savior. There is none before me, neither will there be after me. So for anybody that they propose that there's something else that switched, you make Yahuwah out to be a liar when he says, I, Yahuwah, do not change. So you, O descendants of Yaakov, are not destroyed. He remembers his promise. So he's not going to change this for you or nobody else. Nobody is going to get this change. You understand? Nobody's going to change that Yahuwah is the only Mashiach. Oh, the Truth Scriptures are here. I'll catch y'all back here around 6:20, 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody go. TSinfo.org. We're going to do another roll call from the people who contributed last to the new people's come in or the repeats. We want to go big time for the kingdom today. We want to go big time. We don't want to leave nothing on the table. We want to do first fruits for Yahuwah. We want to get the word out there. I done gave y'all the game plan. I'm going to reiterate it in the next session, what the progress is for the Tanak to hit the world. We are now coming down to just weeks away from the Tanak starting to get into people's hands. We're in the weeks now. We went from the years to the weeks. And here you are, standing on the precipice of eternal history. You are here. You are here. Don't you miss this time. Get over to TSinfo.org and get in. Let's go. Y'all ready? Let's go. I'm talking about right now.
Bye.